Larry King Now, comedian Lliza Shlesinger.
I think the objective for comedy is to get to do it on your own terms and bigger and better platforms. And every success begets another one, so I've just kind of run with it. Well, I felt for this special, I felt it incumbent upon me to bring up something important and be a voice for women without bashing men.
Why do girls care so much about what people think?
Women care so much what people think because we're forced to. Women care so much what people think because men's opinions of women dictate the course of their lives in many cases. I'm gonna go on record saying this, I don't mind men saying disgusting things with other men, but if you plan on being president, you should plan on it for your whole life. So I think they put Billy Bush through the fire for no reason, but Donald Trump should burn in hell for all eternity for several other things.
Plus, what's your favorite holiday?
Even though I'm Jewish, it's Christmas.
Yes, why do we like it?
We like it because they get all the fun, and now that we're adults, we can do it. When you're a kid, it's like you light a brass menorah.
Yeah.
Cool.
All next on Larry King Now. Welcome to Larry King Now. Stand-up comedian Lliza Shlesinger got her break when she won Last Comic Standing in 2006 and hasn't stopped since. She hosts the Truth and Eliza podcast. Her ABC digital show, Forever 31, has been renewed for a second season, and she has a forthcoming late-night talk show on Freeform. Eliza's third Netflix special, Confirmed Kills, is out now, and she's embarking on a 16-city tour in November. And Eliza also has a book coming out next spring called Girl Logic, because she apparently does not like to sleep. What is with you, Eliza?
Well, I don't have a family or a day job, so I must occupy myself in other ways.
You're a single woman.
I have a boyfriend, but I've got a dog. I think, I think the objective for comedy is to get to do it on your own terms and bigger and better platforms. And every success begets another one, so I've just kind of run with it.
How important was Last Comic Standing for you?
It gave me a career. I'd only been doing stand-up for 3 years, and then I won that. And so, at 26, they say to you, now you're a headliner. And it's this huge weight of responsibility, and you can either sink with that responsibility or swim.
Tell me about the Netflix thing, Confirmed Kills. First, what does that mean?
Confirmed Kills, I've done a couple of these specials now, and I've been doing comedy long enough consistently. So you go on stage, you kill. And at this point, I believe I've sealed myself. There's no question that I'm good at what I do, and I'm one of the better comics in the country.
So you have them.
You know when you have them.
Now, Bob Hope told me once, and I've interviewed all the great comics, the great comics have them for 2 minutes.
And then what?
But if you're not funny after 2 minutes,
sure,
you're dead.
That's at the top. They, especially if they know who you are, you got to hold on to them. And
so they want you to be funny. They're welcoming you.
They paid for it, so you better be funny. And they're very.
But do you have 2 to 3 minutes?
I never feel like I have those minutes. I always feel like I have to earn it straight out of the gate.
Right away.
Right out. There is no relaxing. There is no leisure. That's why my act is so fast. I never feel comfortable, and maybe that's why I have so many things.
Let's take a look at a clip from Liza's latest comedy special, Confirmed.
On my own material.
Do you test market it?
I don't test market. I test it out. I go on stage every night. This is hundreds of hours go into that. And comedy's about relatability. You were laughing, which was like such an honor to me. You have kids? You have grandkids? I know you have kids. I know you have 2 sons. They obviously don't.
I have 2 sons. They're now teenagers, 3 grown. I have grandchildren.
And do they call you any weird names?
No, Larry.
Do they call you Larry?
Grandpa Larry.
Or Mr. King?
Grandpa Larry.
Grandpa Larry.
No, they don't call Mr. King. You move around a lot. Is that part of the routine? Have you always been a mover?
Yeah, this is actually hard for me to remain sedentary for this interview. I was hoping I could sit behind you. I move a lot. It's an extension of the material. I get so excited to share what I have, and so I pace and I move, and I think part of that energy comes out in physicality.
It's safe to say that not many comics talk about sexual assault in their act. You do.
I think a lot do. Oh, sexual assault, right.
Why?
I thought they meant because they do it. I felt for this special, I felt it incumbent upon me to bring up something important and be a voice for women without bashing men. And I wanted women to feel, hey, somebody with a voice understands what you go through, everything from a cat call to feeling less than. And so I wanted girls to understand that I was with them. And so that's why I talked about it.
Donald Trump is being accused of what he said on the bus as sexual assault. Is there such a thing as verbal sexual assault?
100%. Now he didn't physically assault her that we saw. I mean,
Right,
I don't,
he did.
whatever, he doesn't. It's verbal. He's like, it's locker room talk. I'm gonna go on record saying this. I don't mind men saying disgusting things with other men, but if you plan on being president, you should plan on it for your whole life. And it's your whole life you should be acting accordingly. And there's a lot of sacrifices you make. So I think they put Billy Bush through the fire for no reason, but Donald Trump should burn in hell for all eternity for several other things. Hopefully this comes out before the election.
Billy Bush, you don't blame. It's just being a young kid.
You're talking to a huge celebrity, and to sit here and act as if men don't say those kind of things, is it right? No, but you got to get your rocks off.
You grew up in Texas.
I did.
Trump should win Texas.
Okay.
Might be close, but he should win. So you had to grow up with a lot of conservative people.
But I'm Jewish, and my parents are from New York.
But Neiman Marcus is from Texas.
True.
Jewish.
My stepdad was friends with Stanley Marcus.
Oh, yeah?
Uh-huh. And I think, yes, conservative, but my parents, and I went to we weren't like roping cattle or anything. So there are a lot of conservatives, and it plays into somehow how you think, but I live in California and I live in Los Angeles, and I think a lot of anything conservative I thought growing up, who cares what an 18-year-old thinks? And now as an adult, as a taxpayer, living in certain areas, you have to think for the greater good, and a very sort of, liberal way of thinking is you have to help minorities.
What does your dad do?
My father he's a financial planner. My stepdad knew Stanley Marcus, and he does consulting.
Our guest is Lliza Shlesinger. We'll talk to you about touring next and being a woman in comedy after the break. Confirmed Kills is the name of her Netflix special. Stay with us. We're back with Lliza Shlesinger. She has a Confirmed Kills. It's a major show on Netflix. Do you know how many? Netflix doesn't say how many people watch it.
Very secretive. I don't know how many people have watched it, but as we saw in that clip, I put hashtags in my special. I sat there in the editing room, and I put these hashtags in so that while people were watching it, they could tweet into me using the hashtag, so I could gauge who's watching it. And of course, ticket sales are indicative of how many new people are watching it.
What's your gauge?
I have no idea. I can't quantify it, but it's more than last time and more than before.
You're going on a 16-city tour. Do you like
sure.
touring?
I do. I love it, and some of my friends come. Sometimes my boyfriends come. Sometimes my boyfriend, sometimes my family comes. I love seeing our country. I love connecting with my fans, and so this is the biggest part of my job.
You ever forget what city you're in?
Yes, all the time. Usually between the hours of like 1 a.m. and 8 a.m. And you wake up, you're like, oh, I'm in Hampton Inn. Oh no.
Can you read a crowd right away?
You can feel them. And it's not always right away, and sometimes you think it's okay, sometimes you lose them, sometimes you say, oh no, I made a Katrina joke, there goes everyone, whoops-a-daisy.
Do you ever bomb?
I do not bomb. I've not done well, I've not liked it for my standards, but I've never bombed in the way that people think, where they're like throwing fruit at you.
You don't get any laughs.
There are times you don't get laughs, but I can't remember a time where I walked off stage and I was like, oh wow, they should have used the big cane to pull me off.
You're the only woman to have won on Last Comic Standing.
I am.
Are women still a rung below in comedy?
I don't think so. I think women are being considered more and more. I think it's kind of an antiquated thought when people say women aren't funny. I think as a woman, the second you walk on stage, you have to try just a little bit harder by virtue of the fact that you're not a guy. But that's how I've been training since the day I started, to just get them right away. I think it just makes you stronger.
Joan Rivers, one of your heroines? Were you a fan of hers?
I was a fan of hers in her later years. I think, she did so much for women and women in comedy. I think it's become this very popular thing for people to sort of romanticize her as if they were fans their whole lives. Most of us grew up knowing her as the jewelry lady, but then I watched her documentary and I cried. Yeah. Because any time, and especially for women, I had Elaine Boozler in my car once, which was so crazy.
I love Elaine.
She's wonderful, but just to hear another woman that's been in the trenches, that's done what you've done, whether it's Anna Gasteyer, who you just had, or Joan Rivers, or Elaine, or any of these women, or Tina Fey to read her book, to know that they went through, like, what you went through, it's comforting, and you realize you're not totally alone in this selfish endeavor of comedy. Right.
Amy Schumer recently threw out a heckler, had him removed from the audience.
Sure.
What do you make of that?
Of the concept of a comic removing a heckler? Well, I think this. I don't know the details of that story. I know that I've had hecklers removed. I know that I've...
You have?
Not only that, I flipped tables. I have thrown things. I have dumped drinks in people's laps. Now that was a long time ago. Your responsibility is not only to yourself artistically, but it's to your audience. And I really respect the fact that in a lot of cases, my fans have spent a decent amount of money to come see me. Perhaps it's their entertainment budget for the weekend. Maybe they're going through something and this was their one release. And if a heckler's just bothering me and disrupting my performance, I have to make a decision. Is that bothering me or is it bothering everyone around them? If it's just something that I'm hearing, sometimes I ignore it. But you can't, you're their shepherd, and you can't afford to let one person ruin it for all these people that did pay to see you. So I'm all for, it's not my job to withstand them.
Do you begin by taking them on?
It depends. Some people are worth taking on. Some people, their parents didn't raise them right, and they don't have any manners, and they're like, I've had a drink, I have all the rights in the world. So you can gauge very quickly whether or not it's a chemical imbalance or it's something you could say, and you deal with that accordingly. It depends on the venue. I say throw them out. I've got a lot of material to get through, and I don't have time to sit here and console you on the fact that your penis isn't all that you hoped it would be.
You don't do sexual things, right?
I'm not, we'll say, dirty.
Do you curse?
Oh, yeah.
So what's that line? Lenny Bruce, the great Lenny Bruce, was a dear friend of mine. Mm-hmm. And he was so far ahead of his time. I mean, it's a joke.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So how do you draw that line between I'll say dirty words,
right,
but I won't say dirty things?
I think, well, there's two parts to that. I think women a lot of times in comedy think if I can grab a low-hanging fruit and I can just say something dirty and I can talk about sex, it's going to get a laugh because it's the lowest common denominator. Everybody has sex. Maybe not well, maybe not often, but it happens. And I think it's about what you want to talk about. And, never say never. Maybe you evolve to a certain place and you do want to talk about something sexual. But for me, I think it's a very easy laugh, and I think your comedy on stage is an extension of you as a person. And I don't walk around talking about, I don't try to be as disgusting as possible. There is a line that you can be honest, but I think if you can do it in a smart way, it serves your purpose better.
Now, Jackie Gleason thought that curse words or racial talk was easy laughs.
They are easy laughs.
He didn't want to get easy laughs.
Right. Right, so you don't want an easy laugh, but some people do. Some people want an easy laugh and an easy sitcom, and they don't care. I think that's the difference between a true stand-up comedian and just somebody who's going to be funny for a living.
You love the laugh.
Love the laugh, but it doesn't feel good. If you say something stupid and they laugh, I will straight up on stage be like, that was off-brand, and I don't like that I said that. But you laughed.
We're talking process and Eliza's upcoming late-night talk show after the break, plus a game of If You Only Knew. Don't go away. We're back with Lliza Shlesinger. Tell me about this late-night talk show.
I can't really. It's in
Why?
development. Well, we haven't done it yet.
What's in development? You sit and ask people questions, right?
I agree. We should have started already. What's in development? It's with Freeform, which is a cable channel, and I've been trying to get a late night show for years, and they seem like the right fit, and I'm into them, they're into me.
But how can you tour if you got a late night show every night?
I will figure it out. I will.
You want to do it every night?
I would like to do it every night, and then on the nights off, on Shabbat, we go and we'll do the show. So you'll find a way.
Were you a funny kid?
I was.
Yeah.
It feels self-aggrandizing to say that. I was a funny kid, and you're a funny kid when you're not friends with the popular kids. Because popular kids aren't funny. They're pretty. And so you're the funny kid.
You're pretty.
Now. And so you're a kid, and you make friends with, you get a laugh, and then you just follow that. The teacher laughs, some other kids laugh, and I was friends with a lot of boys, because guys, I think, appreciated humor.
How often do you change your act?
Every day. It changes every day.
There's certain stock material you have.
There's stock material. This special I just recorded, and the last one was a little over a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. So it's constantly evolving. That special is frozen in time, but those jokes are not the same way now if you see them live. So they're always evolving, and you start to flush out stuff.
Do you write, or you write in your head?
I write in my head. So I'll write down maybe like a word, and I'll remember to say it. But I go up every night so I can write out stuff. Right now I have 30 minutes on Las Vegas.
They say a comedian says funny things and a comic sees things funny.
Sees things funny? I think it's both. I think you have to see something as funny, and then the talent comes from internalizing what you've seen and verbally conveying it. It's the difference between me seeing something and describing it versus someone saying, oh my God, I saw this funny thing, you had to be there. You know, and I think that's what an artist is someone who's able to convey it out of their mind into actuality versus just having it stuck up there.
Okay, we play a little game of If You Only Knew. I fire some questions at you, Eliza. What's a guilty pleasure you have?
I don't believe in guilty pleasures.
Childhood celebrity crush.
Childhood celebrity crush? Robert Downey Jr. and continues to be.
Favorite comedian of all time.
I don't know. There's too many. There's too many. What kind of a question is that?
Is there a young
It's like me saying favorite meal that you've ever had.
Well, you could say Mel Brooks. You've never seen
love Mel Brooks.
Okay.
Okay, Mel Brooks.
Who's your favorite comic right now? Young comic. Is there a young comic you like?
Sebastian. Best working comic. Best comic in the country.
Secret talent.
I don't have any talent.
You don't have a secret talent?
I can sing on key like a hamster, any song.
Like a hamster.
Yeah.
Biggest risk you've ever taken?
Biggest risk? I went skydiving once.
You did?
I came on this show without my contacts thinking glasses would be a cute look. I did go skydiving once.
What was that like?
It's not the only part that's scary is when you put your feet out of the plane. The jumping is not so bad. That's my advice to you.
Feet out of the plane?
When you dangle your feet out and you realize how high up, then you feel it. But once you jump out, it's not as bad.
You don't fear the chute not opening?
No, you feel a splat, and then you just feel darkness.
Wildest childhood nickname of yours?
Nicknames are for cool kids.
What never fails to make you laugh?
Farts.
Farts.
Is that bad? You have to. That's funny.
Why are farts funny?
Because it's so embarrassing, and they're happening, they're ubiquitous. They're happening in this room, they're happening all the time. It's something that everybody does, but the noise is funny, and it just brings you back to being a kid. I like to be able to still laugh at stuff.
Person you'd trade places with for a day?
I would trade places with Donald Trump.
Why?
Just to see what absolute power and ignorance feels like without having a conscience about it. I would have sex with everything, and I would say the worst things just to feel what it's like to have things roll off your back. And while I have a pretty big ego, just to feel what like a super ego feels like. Just to feel what that feels like, and to pee on a gold toilet and eat souls. I'd like to know that feeling.
If you were
gold toilet, Larry.
If you were, I know he has.
You probably have a gold toilet.
No, I don't. If you weren't a comedian, what would you be?
Sad.
What's something people don't know about you?
Something people don't know about me. That's a good question. I'm a pretty open person.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Do you want to have a family?
I would like to have a family, but something that people don't know about me. Oh, yeah, and I think a lot of people maybe have this. You know, when you go to sleep, there's like that wave that you catch to fall asleep. If I find myself unable to sleep, I start to get very sad, and I always think about my family dying. So and I think about my dog dying, and I think about dying. If it's after 2 a.m. and I'm laying in my bed, I have to remind myself, oh, it's just gonna be really sad until you wake up. So always good to go to bed when you can.
Logical.
Right.
Eliza will answer your social media questions in our last segment. Don't go away.
Ooh, a better answer.
We're back with Lliza Shlesinger. She has her Truth and Eliza podcast, her ABC digital show Forever 31, and Confirmed Kills is out now. We have some social media questions for you. At Valnick's Eerie tweets, if I brought my boa Lliza Snake Slinger to your Nashville show, would you selfie with her? Yeah,
but I'm not holding the snake. So that's great.
She can hold it, and you could take the picture with it.
Yeah, and thank God it's an actual snake.
At Sebastian Stone via our blog, where do you find inspiration for your comedy?
My inspiration comes from everyday personal thoughts to listening to women talk in a restroom to feeling that I need to be vindicated on some sort of social mishap to goblins and witches and cartoons. It's everywhere, every day.
What's your favorite holiday? Halloween?
Tu B'Shvat. No, that would be the worst answer. No, I hate Halloween. My favorite holiday, even though I'm Jewish, is Christmas.
Yes, why do we like it?
We like it because they get all the fun, and now that we're adults, we can do it. When you're a kid, it's like you light a brass menorah.
Yeah.
Cool.
At Personic asks, are female Trump supporters inherently sheep?
I think all people are sheep. I think if you're supporting anyone, you're a sheep because you're following someone.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all sheep. I think perhaps they're not firing on all cylinders, and perhaps they like the idea of being barefoot and pregnant. And so that's cool. We need stupid people, you know.
I guess.
We need stupid people to follow me at some point.
Trace Johnson wants to know why you say f so much.
Why do I say f so much? What's his name? Trace Johnson? I want to know why he chooses to quantify it as so much, and why you're bothering me with that question.
Okay. Aside from everything else, you also have a book coming out called Girl Logic.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me about that.
I wanted to really contribute to the amount of books out there with the word girl in the title. Girl Logic is about the thought process that women apply to everything that we do. I have this theory that women have to live in the past, present, and future all the time in order to make a decision. So when I ask a guy, are you hungry? They say, I want pizza. When you ask a woman that, we have to factor in, how do we feel now? What are we wearing later? Did we work out last week? How are we feeling about ourselves? And so there's just so many factors. And that process we apply to most things that we do.
All right, I have some questions for you about Girl Logic.
Okay.
Why do women ask men how they look when they only want one answer?
Because we want that one answer.
Are modern men supposed to let women be fully independent or pick up the tab on a first date?
I think that there is a healthy compromise. The reason men pick up a tab is because the woman already put in so much money and energy to get to that date. It costs time and money to buy an outfit, to buy makeup, to do your hair. So you pick up the tab because we've already ostensibly paid for that dinner with the way we look.
Why do women with lots of things to wear say, I have nothing to wear?
Because I have nothing to wear. Because the outfit, this is a Girl Logic thing, because the outfit that I have in my head doesn't exist. And you try to create it out of your wardrobe. But we're always required to look perfect, and anything that you have from before isn't going to satisfy that. It's insane and it's exhausting.
Why will women watch what they eat for dinner and then have 2 cupcakes for dessert?
Because we're drunk by the time dessert comes around, and then all rules are out the window. That's why.
Why do tall women like small men?
Tall women, do they like small men?
I think so. You ever see jockeys? They're all married to tall women.
Well, they have no choice. It's either that or find a pygmy.
Give me another piece of Girl Logic.
Can we say pygmy? Another piece of Girl Logic. The food one was great. I hate to say that it applies to the clothing thing. Girl Logic is anytime you open your mouth thinking, oh my gosh, is this going to be misconstrued? Am I going to come off as a bitch? Was I too sheepish? Was I too quiet? Was that loud enough? Did I say what I wanted? And it's about self-question. It's about questioning yourself, but it's also about taking into account how you're being perceived by so many people versus men who are just like, I did what I did. Goodbye.
Why do girls care so much about what people think?
Women care so much what people think because we're forced to. Women care so much what people think because men's opinions of women dictate the course of their lives in many cases. Donald Trump tried to have Nancy O'Dell fired, because he didn't like that she denied him. That's one example. I had a guy hit on me once and I wasn't into him, so he told everyone I slept with him. If a man doesn't like your attitude, maybe you don't get that raise. If a girl thinks you're a bitch, then you get shut out of the circle. So we care what people think because it's been forced on us for so long.
Have you, quote, come a long way?
To get here, this is in Glendale.
Have women come a long way?
Yes, well, if you look at what we came from, it was, being property, rule of thumb, burned as witches. It's only recently that we're experiencing rights and getting to be outspoken, so we've come a long way. We have a long way to go. But right now is the best time to be a woman or a minority or anything other than, I guess, a white man.
Why do girls take man's name when they marry?
Women take men's names initially. It has to do with the fact that women had no rights and couldn't own property. Now it's just like an old-fashioned thing. My last name is Shlesinger. I will marry anyone to get rid of it. Anyone with a Goyish last name, I will take it.
You're a doll.
Thank you for having me.
Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem.
Thanks to my guest, Lliza Shlesinger. Confirmed Kills is available now on Netflix, and you can get information on her tour at Lliza.com. And as always, you can find me, and not my party goblin, on Twitter at King's Things. And we'll see you next time.